Alright, everybody. My name is AParator54, aka Adam, coach in the Chesney Park Slowpokes, and today we bring you the draft analysis for SPDA VGC Champions division. This is a Wi-Fi league. It was optional upload. Alright, so there were 40 coaches split between pools of 10, and I ended up being in the Giratina draft at pick number 3. We are required to pick 1 S tier, 2 A tiers, 3 B tiers, 2 C tiers, and 2 Ds. So it'll be a 10-man roster. And I'm not the one choosing the picks this time. My lovely wife is, so enjoy. Alright, first pick overall, I decided to take Mega Delphox. This is definitely an interesting mod. It gets a monstrous 134 speed stat and I believe 165 special attack. It has limited switch-ins. Being able to spam Heat Wave, spam Psychic, Shadow Ball. You have access to Protect. You can set manual Psychic Terrain if you need to for the team. And it just punches a whole metric ton into teams. Gets access to Dazzling Gleam. Gets access to quite a bit of things, and I look forward to seeing what this thing can do. I believe I get Scorching Sands as well. I do not get like Thunder Punch, but I do get Solar Beam, I believe. Oh, I don't get Thunderbolt, I get Thunder Punch, which is definitely interesting. Access to Low Kick is weird on this mon, but maintaining Psychic Noise to prevent my opponent from healing, as well as having Will-O-Wisp, is kind of nice. But that is our round 1 pick. We will hop on into round 2. Alright, it came back to me again, and I figured I might as well try something new. I got a Follow Me Mom. A Follow Me Pokemon. I'm not accustomed to using this, nor am I accustomed to using Clefable in Wi-Fi VGC, but this is just going to have to be a learning curve. We will figure it out. And, yeah, it gets access to Psychic, Thunderbolt, Moonblast, Focus Blast, Flamethrower, Ice Beam, Thunder Wave, Moonlight, Follow Me, Screens. You name it, it gets a lot of different things. It can be support-wise, it can be offensive. Granted, it needs a Life Orb to take full advantage of Magic Guard and just do damage boosting moves. But having access to Follow Me is amazing. We've got Unaware to avoid your stat boost. We have Cute Charm. If you hit me, you have a chance to be infatuated if you're the opposite gender, which is incredibly good. All in all, Clefable's a good one, and I look forward to seeing what I can do with it. If I can't get it to work, I do have some pivots I could make, but we'll see what happens in about 2 weeks when we finally play week 1. Alright, by the time it got back to me again, we were seeing heavy prominent rain teams being formed. We had Archaludon Pelipper, we had Politoed and Basculegion male. I decided to take female for shits and giggles and prevent the rain teams from being overly powered. Especially if this thing went to the Archaludon team, we would be sitting in a horrible position wise, but we'll make it work. This being able to have access to Swift Swim, Adaptability, and Mold Breaker is amazing. If I'm able to set rain, I can take advantage of Swift Swim, spam Muddy Water, because the female is more especially offensive, and it has about 92 attack as well, so we can take advantage of last respects. So you can run a mixed. Granted, I wish weakness policy was in this game. Hopefully we'll get it later on. But female is just like incredibly cracked with the weakness policy more than male. But we'll see what happens. We still get access to Flip Turn, we still get access to Wave Crash, we get access to Liquidation. We can still be physical if we need to, but mainly we will be special. And we will just be hitting things. Being able to fall back on last respect is amazing, especially if it's the last mon versus nothing that's not a normal or a dark type. You can just spam the move into them and one-hit KO things, especially with adaptability boosts. But main thing, I'll probably be running Swift Swim if I can get Rain up. If not, this is going to be Scarf every week. Alright, for round number 4, we took Hippowdon. This is definitely an interesting pickup. You can do quite a few things with it. You can make this max Bedef bulky just to be able to counter other things. You can run max defense with body press. You can run heavy slam for fairies. Rock slide. You can run stealth rocks. Slack off, yawn, whirlwind your opponent's outs. And all in all, just being able to set Trick Room around it is amazing. But sand in this format is definitely interesting, especially with Hippowdon, because it's very T-Tar dominant right now, and Hippowdon is more dominant in the singles. So we will see how this goes. Access to Slack Off is amazing too. I just wish we had Rocky Helmet, so I can take advantage of just whittling my opponent down. But beggars can't be choosers. We will hop on into the very next mon. Alright, for round number 5, we decided to come back and take Excadrill. This was another interesting pick made by her. So now we have Hippowdon, Excadrill, and being able to run Sand Force, Sand Rush, and Mold Breaker is phenomenal. You got Rock Slide, Earthquake, Iron Head. You get access to Brick Break, Mega Horn now because of the DLC. So you can hit Psychic types pretty hard as long as you're able to hit the attack. And being able to just hit SD, spam Earthquake or high horsepower is absolutely amazing. Alright, for round number 6, we decided to take our C tier in Heliolisk. This allows us to have Sand Veil, Bright Powder, and Sand. So this lowers everything down to about 70% accuracy. It's like 70-75%. But we also have access to Dry Skin, which is the water immunity. And we have access to Solar Power to punish opposing Sun teams. This gets access to Focus Blast, Ally Switch, Parabolic Charge now, Thunderbolt, Grass Knot, I believe Solar Beam as well. I'd have to double check that one. But being able to just pass an immediate Shed Tail into something that's a fighting resist or just in general is pretty good. And it's legal. And if I'm able to send it into immunity, I'll take it. But anyways, that is Heliolisk, our first C tier, and we will hop on into the next pick. Alright, so for our next pick, we took our third B tier of the draft in Earthworm. This gives me access to Shed Tail as well again. But being able to be a pure Steel type with access to Earth Eater to remove one of my weaknesses completely and force you to bring a Fire type or a Fighting type to deal with me is definitely interesting. If I'm able to get an Iron defense off, there are limited switch-ins to Body Press and Heavy Slam, because this thing is relatively heavy, believe it or not. But being able to spam those two things after an Iron defense and still have access to Rocks, Spikes, and High Horsepower as well as Rock Slide is definitely interesting in a Pokemon. Granted, I'm not the biggest Earthworm fan. We will see how this goes. The two chains that I would make is probably Clefable and Earthworm if I end up making moves. So we'll see what happens later on down the road. But that is our round 7 pick. Alright, we're at that point in the draft where everybody is scrounging for the D tier picks, which we are required to have, and there's not really the greatest mons there. There's a couple Tailwind setters, there's a couple Trick Room setters, there's Shenanigans like Burden Slurpuff, the Semi-Poor, Semi-Seer, Semi-Sage for Fake Out, Trash Monkeys are there. But we ended up deciding to take 2 Cannon just so we can actually have Tailwind. And I learned something interesting. I did not know this was a thing. Beak Blast will charge before Fake Out is even used or Feint is used. So what will happen is I charge my Beak. If you hit me with Fake Out, you get burned. If you're not a fire type, you get punished. Which is definitely interesting. That and this thing does quite a bit of damage with Rock Blast and Bullet Seed, as well as its stab Beak Blast as well. But this thing also gets access to Sheer Force, so I can do Heat Wave, I can do Air Slash, I can do a special version if I wanted to. Granted, its special attack is absolutely dog shit, but we will make it work. I would need a Life Orb and able to have this thing do damage. But it's still better, a tiny bit better than like Squawkabilly. But that one also gets Guts, so we'll see how this goes. But that is our D tier. We will hop on into our last 2 picks of the draft. Alright, for our last C tier, we decided to take a second Mega in Mega Bayonet. It's first before it megas, so that allows me to see what your items are. I can scout for a sash, I can scout for a scarf, I can scout for berries, other mega stones to guarantee what you are, which is incredibly good, especially seeing berries. But after it mega evolves, it gets Prankster, which allows me to have Encore, allows me to have Quash. Gets a 140 attack stat, which is massive with Poltergeist, Sucker Punch, and Shadow Sneak. This even gets access to Trick Room, I believe Quash as well. Gets access to Rain Dance, allowing me to just absolutely hammer things with Basque Legion. Gives me Sunny Day to counter rain teams, which I'll take. This even gives me access to Prankster Destiny Bond. Alright. I feel like you're about to nuke me. I will Destiny Bond. You will come with me. It's as simple as that. As long as you're not a dark type, you come with me, which is hilarious. This, I believe, even gets access to Will-O-Wisp, Thunderwave, and Hypnosis. I'd have to double check on Hypnosis, though. The other 2 for sure. But being able to just randomly do nonsense, give roleplay with my opponent to just take their ability, or say I have an Intimidate Mon, or I have something else next to me I want to steal the ability from. Like, for example, if I wanted to take adaptability from my own Basque Legion, I could take that, and now I have Ghost type souped up stab, which is absolutely hilarious. But that is our second Mega. And we have one more pick of the draft. Alright, to round off our draft, we ended up taking Rose Raid for our D tier. This allows us to have a Weather Ball Mon. This gives us Sleep Spotter, Stun Spore, Life Dew for healing. This gives us access to Sludge Bomb, Giga Drain, Solar Beam. Weather Ball turns into, well, based on weather, rock, water, fire. Am I really drawing a blank on the last one? Water, rock, fire. Oh, ice. Being able to like randomly weather ball Dragonite and blow it back is absolutely amazing. Incineroar getting blown back in rain is amazing. Being able to blow back Volcarona with Weather Ball and Sand, amazing. But that is our team. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. Like and subscribe if you haven't. And stay tuned for a few weeks from now when we play Charizard, Y, Venusaur, Shenanigans, and Sun. You guys have a good day. Peace.